Thank you for downloading our GA4 Audit Google Sheets add-on. So in this video, I will simply show you how to use it and how to get the most of it, because I strongly believe that this is the best Google Analytics 4 audit free that's out there. So let's get started. I'll move this out of the way. And now, assuming you already have the add-on, you should see it in your Google Sheets extension tab and GA4 Audit. If you don't have it downloaded yet, you can go to add-ons, get add-ons, type in GA4 Audit and install it. All right, so the first thing you will want to do is go to configuration. And select the GA4 property that you want to audit. If you get an error message here, it's probably because you're logged in into too many Google accounts. So you'll have to sign out of all of them and sign in using a single account and using the one that has access to the GA4 property you want to audit. All right, so now we select the GA4 property we want to use. Then we type in the domain that should be the main domain of that GA4 property. Over here, you will write the email address you want to receive alert notification on, because this audit also has the functionality of running daily and looking at your GA4 property for any anomalies. All right, we'll look into that into more detail later on this video. And if you run a e-commerce store, you can enable e-commerce audit. In this case, this is not a e-commerce, so I won't enable it, but I can still show you how it looks once we run the audit. So this is done. Let's save the configuration. All right, so now what you will want to do is go back here again and click Run All Checks and Log Score. So at the bottom here, you will see this icon and it says working. As long as this is there, it means the audit is doing its thing. Just let it do its thing. This takes about 4 or 5 minutes to run. So while this is running, I wanted to take the time to kind of explain to you why this add-on exists. So the first thing is, I work with a lot of clients setting up Google Analytics 4, Google Tag Manager, Google BigQuery, building data pipelines. And one thing I always find is that businesses will modify their website all the time. They add quiz, they change the funnel, they all sorts of things, which is great. Or marketing campaign will change all the time. They will hire a new marketing agency. But the result of that is most of the time they don't think about the tracking side of things, and the data gets corrupted, events stop tracking correctly, campaign don't get attribution right, the UTMs are messed up. All of these things render your data kind of useless. And obviously the best solution to that is proper project planning and make sure that when you go live, everything has been tested. But very often this is not the case. So the next best thing is to be alerted when something goes wrong as fast as possible, so that you can maintain a good data quality. And this is what this audit aimed to do. So the other audits that I found online mainly check for the most obvious issues, which isn't useful in most of the case. They don't look at like UTMs, if there's some weird landing page issue, cross-domain tracking issues, or event dimension not populating, such as transaction ID, transaction value, the SKU. One other thing is they don't explain what causes those issues. So they will flag those issues, but they won't tell you what's causing them and how to resolve them. So that's, again, not very useful. Most of the other audit as well, they're a one-time thing. You run the audits, you get your score, and then that's pretty much it. This audit that you have now monitors daily, right? So it's not a one-time thing, and data quality is never a one-time thing. And so that's why I believe this is a great tool to use. All right, let's get back to it. The audit finished running. Don't pay attention to this. This is a bunch of tests that I've done. Yours will just be a track of your score over time. All right, so as you improve your data quality score over time, if it lowers, you'll see it over here. All right. So a bunch of tabs have been created. Let's look at what they are. So over here, property settings. This is just kind of your settings in GA4. So most of the time, all of these tests should be passed. Wherever you wonder what a check is and what is the threshold to determine if it passed or failed, you can hover over it, and there's a note that explain what this check is. So this is for your GA4 settings. This looks at your UTM settings. Again, if there's duplicate, if some are missing, and again, you can see what is a warn, what would be a fail. So in this case, for example, we have some weird source over here that I would have to look into my GA4, see what's wrong with them and what's causing that and why are they so long. Because this doesn't not look like something I would have configured manually. All right, moving on, event scope dimensions. Again, those should be pretty much always passed. Mixed cased event, duplicated events, so it checks for that. Referral, so making sure that you're not doing self-referral or partial self-referrals. Again, this is all. This looks all good, but it might not be in your case. This looks at the landing page and just common issue with most GA4 setup. For example, landing page showing as not set. So I would have to go in GA4 and kind of troubleshoot. And over here, it says action required. So basically investigate tracking implementation to the values are properly captured. Check for missing page view events on entries. So if there's no, and again, you can go on our website if you go to the help section, and there's more details about this specific check and now how to resolve it. Most of the time, this would be because there's an event firing before a page view event, which set the landing page to not set. So, but again, use our help page to get more details about what you can do about these. E-commerce, in this case, I didn't check the option for e-commerce, but you have all of these checks. You can take the time to look at what they all do. Right now, the notes, since I skipped, it's not there. Google Ads. So this compares the number of clicks and sessions that I have in Google Ads. So if there's a big difference, it might mean that we're sending traffic to a dead page, or depending on which one you failed, there will be different reasons. And again, you can always look at action required or our documentation to know what should be the next step if you failed that test. key events. So again, you have all of these personal information checks, spam referral domain list. So if this is the list we have right now, but if there's other spam domain that you would like to add to this list, this is why it is there. So feel free to add more spam domain. This will be used to catch if you have any spam traffic. I think it's in the spam referrals, right? So this use this spam referral domain list. All right. For any checks, you might have noted there's like if a check always fails, you know why that is, but you won't be fixing the issue. You can always ignore these checks, and on the last audit, on the next audit, these checks will be ignore, and it won't generate an alert or anything like that. This is great to avoid alert overload and just starting to ignore the alerts. So if you always get an alert that you ignore, you should ignore it in your audit. That way you won't get alerted. All right, so this is about the full audit. It returns you a dashboard, so it gives you your overall score. Check past, so you have that. You have your trend line over here. You can always go see each page like that. Now we want to implement the event monitoring. So we'll do that. Run event monitoring. All right, so this does a few things. It lists all the events found in your account. It gives you a bunch of settings over here. It looks at the events count from 2 days ago. This is because GA4 takes some time to make all the events available via API. So that's why we looked at 2 days ago and not yesterday. And the status here is if the change compared to the 30 days prior, if the change is big. So for example, over here, we had the count of 0, but then an average of 0.1 a day over the previous 30 days. This is not a big difference, and I don't want to receive an alert when this happens. So what I would do is just ignore. Or what you could say is, I don't want to be alerted unless there's at least 10 events difference between what we got 2 days ago compared to the 30-day average, right? So I would probably just set it at 10 for everything over here. And over here, you can set your overall threshold. So if, for example, page view decrease by 50% and the difference between the 2 days ago and our 30-day average is more than 10, then I want to be alerted, right? So this is what this condition says. You have the option to set it to increase, or if it moves 50% in both direction. If it increase or decrease by 50%, I want to be alerted. So those are the settings available. Since we've checked the option to have the daily event monitoring, this will run daily based off of those criteria. I think this pretty much covers what this audit can do. Look at each check. There's a ton of things over there. Eventually, we are considering making the threshold for the main audit customizable. So if that's something that interests you, don't hesitate to send us an email. The more people say that they want that option, we will implement it if that's something you're interested in. If you want more than one GA4 property on a regular monitoring schedule, then this becomes a paid add-on, and then you could go over here and activate your license. If you don't have a license key, you'll have to purchase one. I think the price right now is $97 for a lifetime license. So this probably won't last for very long, but right now I think that's what it is. And this is mostly for agency that have multiple clients, and they want to audit multiple GA4 property automatically daily. But if you run an e-commerce business and you only have a website, you have access to all of the features for free. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always send me an email at eric@systematicdata.com and reach out using the help section here or the documentation page. So if we go over here, you have access to all of the checks, inverted UTMs, what it checks, why it matters, how to interpret the results, and how to fix. And then you can always contact, so you have that for every check, and you can always contact us if you have any questions. All right, that's it for this video. Hopefully you get your data in order in GA4, and if you struggle with it, give us a call and we'll take a look. All right, cheers.